I'm Sara Ondrako, a certified dog behavior consultant, and this is my new puppy, Vivace. Today, I want to talk to you about my top tips for making sure that you have an effective training relationship with your new dog or new puppy. Start early, right when you first get your new dog or your new puppy. Even though you might not start obedience cues like sit and down and heel right off the bat, you're training every single day with your puppy. They're learning the new routine, whether it's where the food is, where their bed is, how to walk in and out of the thresholds, and just what the physical activities of the day look like. Now, a lot of people that rescue dogs immediately think, I want to go ahead and send it away to a trainer. But those first 2 weeks or 3 weeks are really critical to your relationship building. So avoid the knee-jerk response to go ahead and send your dog off to a trainer where they're going to bond and work well with that trainer for at least the first few weeks so that you can get through that getting to know you period and start building that bond right away. Now, my puppy's only 10 weeks old, so I do want to mention that if you get a puppy as opposed to an adult dog, you're at a bit more of an advantage because you can mold and shape them so early on. So it's imperative that you start right away. Now, that doesn't mean if you're bringing an older dog into the family that you're at a lost cause with training and behavior. You still want to start right away and build that bond because you'd be amazed how much and how capable older dogs are as well. My next tip is all about consistency. Consistency is so very important, not just for clear communication, but so that your new dog gets used to the routine and trusts the process. It builds predictability for your dog. Now, I don't just mean consistency with the entire family, but I also mean with anyone else that comes to interact with your dog as well. An example for the importance of consistency might be if you use a dog walker to come during the day and walk your dog while you're at work. If you've been working hard to build in a yes marker, which means you did exactly what I wanted you to do, and now your reward, your treat, your reinforcer is coming right after that word is as well. So you're building in that yes marker. But your dog walker might use the word yes without that reinforcer. If your dog doesn't get the reinforcer that you've been working on with yes, it starts to lose its value when you use it. So it tends to cause a little bit of confusion in terms of training if everyone that's interacting with your dog isn't interacting in the same way consistently. My next tip is about confidence building. It's important to take the time with your dog to build up their confidence so that they can tackle new situations and new environments with ease and adaptability. They really look to their pet parent for that guidance to know what's safe and what's not. And doing confidence building exercises really helps strengthen that trust in a pet parent. When you're out and about with your dog, there are several different ways that you can use the outside environment to build confidence. An example would be taking a trip to the playground and tackling the playground equipment, or just sitting and observing, watching other animals and other people go by. These are all ways that you can build confidence in your dog and more trust from your dog to you. Even when you're not out and about in the environment, there are several ways at home that you can build your dog's confidence as well. Think about something they may have never experienced before with you. If it's a new dog, maybe they've never had a bath in a bathtub prior. So before just tossing them into a bathtub and doing the full bath, take the time to slowly introduce the bathtub to your dog to where they can get in and out on their own, maybe have a fun licky mat or frozen Kong in the bath to have a positive experience before you actually turn the water on or start with the wash. The idea is to build confidence through these small activities where the dog learns that they can win and they can do it and they can get in and out of the bathtub on their own. And that does a lot for confidence as well. Let's talk a little bit about socialization. Most people, when they get a new dog or a new puppy, think about socializing them as in meeting all these new people and all these other animals. But in fact, socialization is more like social exposure. Yes, you want to expose your new puppy or even your adult dog to new sounds and sights and smells and people. But in the first few weeks you get your new dog or your new puppy, try to limit the actual physical contact that they have with other animals and people so that you can start building that bond between your puppy, your new dog, and yourself, and give them exposure to these various different things so that they can start to learn them. Even if you're bringing home an adult dog and they're well past their critical socialization period, like a puppy would be in, it's important that they still get a lot of social exposure so that they can handle new situations and new environments and new people and animals as they come their way with ease. When you get a new puppy or a new dog, one of the things that you want to make sure you're doing is managing their environment in a way that they're not going to have a fearful or traumatic experience. And especially with rescue dogs, that you don't know what kind of exposure they've had prior, you want to set them up for success by not exposing them to things that could be potentially traumatizing. So how do we prevent fearful and traumatic experiences for our puppy or our new dog? If you notice things like loud sounds tend to startle them, try to keep them away from things that you know are going to make a lot of noise until you can work them up to be more confident and comfortable in those experiences. Definitely avoid flooding. You never want to throw a puppy or a new dog into an environment where all of the scary things are, thinking that they'll just figure it out or not be afraid after a lot of exposure to something that scares them. Unfortunately, that doesn't work and can make things a lot worse for your new puppy or your new dog. So environmentally manage their surroundings and their exposure to other people, other animals, sounds, sights, and all of these new things so that they feel comfortable and they trust you. Not only do you want to environmentally manage things for your dog to prevent fearful experiences, but you want to think about it on the home front as well. When we're training, we want to make sure that we set up our environment where failures aren't going to happen, and we can reinforce the behaviors that we want to see again and again. An example for environmental management would be if you bring a new puppy home and they're so excited and they chew on everything because they're teething until they're 6 months old. You want to make sure that you puppy-proof your house by putting things away that you don't want to be chewed on, because they're naturally going to gravitate to put their mouth on absolutely everything. They need supervision 24/7, so you can use a hands-free leash and tether them to you, or always make sure that a set of eyes are on your puppy so that as they're doing things you don't want them to continue doing, you can interrupt that and redirect it to an activity you do want them doing, and you have all of these opportunities when they're supervised to say, yes, I like that behavior. Yes, do that again. One thing to keep in mind as you have your new dog or your new puppy is breed. Now, breed plays a role because if you think about it, if you have an Australian Shepherd, movement might trigger a response for them. They might be more reactive than other dogs, or some breeds are known to be a little bit more guardy and they prefer being with their one person as opposed to meeting all these new people. So be very aware of the breed of dog that you have, or maybe knowing what breeds actually make up your new mixed breed dog that you've rescued. These things all play a role in terms of how their personality is going to be outwardly expressed from the people that they're meeting and the other animals that they're meeting as well. This next tip is gonna be a little bit of a hot button topic, and it involves choosing a dog trainer. Choosing the wrong professional or having the bad experience with a professional that you don't vibe with or your dog doesn't vibe with could be traumatic on your relationship. There's a number of different things that you can do. And the first is just select a credentialed trainer so that you know they've had the education and the hands-on experience to be able to tackle puppy training or dog training with you in a positive way. There are two credentialing bodies that I look at when I'm selecting a dog trainer for someone, and that's the IAABC and CCPDT. The next thing that you want to look at is their methodology. Make sure that you're picking someone that's looking at the dog in front of them as that individual and trains based on your dog's likes, dislikes, fears, and things that bring out that happiness so that you know you're going to build a positive bond while you're working with your dog in training as well. Every dog has different drives and individual needs and desires, and so the professional's job is to tap into those likes and to show you how to work with your dog in a way that's going to work for them. So be open-minded and remember, dogs learn in different ways from individual to individual. A lot of pet parents overlook the power of play. Often they'll leave them to play with other dogs or to play with a toy on their own, and you're really missing out on that important engagement that you get with that one-on-one playtime. When you're out and about with your dog and they play with you, they're in a low-stress state. It's very difficult to be stressed when you're playing and be playing when you're stressed. It's an indicator as to whether your dog is really feeling good and enjoying the experience, or if they're not playing with you, maybe they're a little bit concerned or fearful of what's going on around them. When you take your dog out in public, if you play with them for a few minutes and they seem very, very engaged, that might be a good time to try some really simple skills that you've been working on. Something like sit or down. That's very easy for them to do despite all of the new distractions of the new environment. If your puppy or new dog struggles with that, take a step back, have more fun playing and observing, and make sure that your dog or puppy is very relaxed before you start asking different skills of them. My last tip for you is about building a predictable routine. Dogs thrive on routine, and they very much look forward to the activities of the day as they're happening. But I want to mention that it's not just about at this time of the day we do this, and at this time of the day we do that. Part of that building a routine is the expectation for your dog to know what type of activities happen when. So for example, if you get up and you go for a walk in the morning with your dog and they're used to that physical activity, but then you come home and you have your coffee and your dog just hangs out with you, build that on a daily basis to where the dog knows what to expect. They know when it's time to have that physical activity and that walk with you, and then they can turn it off right after that physical activity because you want to relax and have your coffee. If you switch it up to where you have your coffee first and you relax and then you go for the walk, it can throw your dog off a little bit, and sometimes a little bit of stress can creep in from that. An example of being consistent with creating this routine with your puppy might be if you're getting ready to take your puppy out of the crate, and every time you take your puppy out, we go right outside and we go potty. That's a really good foundation for potty training. But what happens that one time that you open that crate door and you don't immediately take your puppy outside to potty? Now they go potty on the floor and you're starting to build a habit that you don't want to build. If you're finding that you're struggling with dog training, seek the help of a dog professional first, whether it's a dog behaviorist or a dog trainer. You want to keep in mind that oftentimes behavior problems will erupt because of pain or discomfort. It's actually really common. So if your dog is off or struggling and the two of you aren't clicking with training, not only seek help from a dog professional, but also think about getting a physical exam from your veterinarian to make sure there isn't any pain or discomfort present. When we're thinking about dog training, try not to get hung up on the word training itself, because that makes us think about only things like sit and down and heel and all of those obedience cues. But what it's really about is actually learning to live with another partner. You now have a new furry family member, and your furry family member has to learn how to live with you and you with them in a positive and healthy way. If you have any questions about dog behavior or training, feel free to put them in the comments below and we'll try to get to them as quickly as possible. If you like this video, please don't forget to hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe if you want more information about how to build that bond with your dog.